I'm going to get to Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. Now, he had a press conference yesterday. He signed a major bill, the first one in America, in a state, holding big tech accountable for canceling you. If you live in Florida and they cancel you for no reason, guess what? You can sue them for up to $100,000. This is like a new world order when you're dealing with this guy, Ron DeSantis. He's unbelievable. He also took on the lib lockdown governors, took them on in his press conference, said they locked their states down, destroyed their economies, and put people out of work and destroyed businesses for nothing. He took them on. Then finally, the icing on the cake, he takes on the fake news media. Let's start with Ron DeSantis. This press conference has not been given any media coverage. Why? Because it's that good. So the fake news ignores it, just like they ignore everything that doesn't fit their warped, lying narrative. Here's DeSantis yesterday saying, hey, Florida is like West Berlin in the 70s.
I think what we've seen over the last year are people fleeing these lockdown states. And I think the fact that Florida, I said today that we were basically like the nation's West Berlin, people coming in to be able to get a respite, people come and uprooting their lives and coming to Florida for more opportunity. And I think once they get here, they're very impressed with the quality of life that we offer. Sean, your state of New York, you guys are taxed to smithereens. Your budget, so you guys have millions of people less than Florida. Your budget's over twice the size of ours, yet our infrastructure is better. Our K through 12 schools perform better. Our state university system performs better. So you're not getting anything for your money. It's all going to special interest. So people do appreciate having no state tax and also having an environment where they can thrive.
Unbelievable. It's like West Berlin. It's like you go to Florida to get out of a communist country. It's a great analogy, but he's getting the job done. If this guy runs for president, if Trump decides not to run, Ron DeSantis is going to be the 2024 Republican nominee, hands down, and he should, because he's earned it, because he's actually showing leadership and getting things done and standing up to the liberals and the left and the radicals and the fake news. Here he is explaining his new bill that he signed, that the state legislature in Florida got done, saying, hey, we're done having you ban people for political speak you don't like in Florida. If you do it, we will sue you, and so will they. Cut 2.
This reform gives every Floridian the power to fight back against big tech. Floridians who are deplatformed will be able to sue big tech companies for violating this law. And courts may award up to $100,000 in damages for each proven claim. These protections aren't just for elite, but for everyday people, millions of people who rely on social media to keep up with the news, do business, and stay connected with family and friends. We're the first state to hold these big tech companies to this standard of transparency and accountability. The law requires the platforms to publish detailed standards explaining how they decide which voices to censor, and they need to apply those standards consistently. That's not what happens. You look, they have these standards, they always change it, and if you're on one side, it seems to be any little foot foul, you're gone. If you're on the right side from their perspective, then you can get away with whatever you want. And so when big tech censors enforce their rules inconsistently to discriminate in favor of the dominant ideology in Silicon Valley, they will be held accountable in the state of Florida.
I mean, if there's not a reason to move to Florida, in and of itself, great weather, great economy, plenty of jobs around, that's the answer right there. My YouTube page, John Fredericks Radio, which I built up over 11 years, I was finally banned for life. Now, we had some revenue coming off it. I had 80,000 subscribers. Took us 11 years to build it up. And in one day, they canceled me for life. Why? because I ran an interview with Stephen K. Bannon coming on my radio show, which I ran probably 150 Bannon interviews over that 10-year period. They just banned me for life. Why? I don't know. I have no earthly idea, because they don't like what I'm saying. If I'm in Florida, I could have sued them for $100,000. So maybe I should go back to Florida, start it up again, and try that. All right, here's DeSantis saying, now, it's one thing to ban Joe Blow like me on YouTube or one of the other social media platforms. It's another thing if you try to ban somebody running for political office, which they've also done on multiple occasions, like President Trump and others. Here's DeSantis on slicing out a different penalty for banning people running for or in political office. Cut 3.
The law also prohibits big tech from deplatforming political candidates for elected office in the state of Florida. The Florida Election Commission will impose fines of $250,000 per day on social media companies that deplatforms any candidate for statewide office, and additional penalties lesser for local offices. Any Floridian can block any candidate they don't want to hear from, and that is a right to belong each citizen. You simply can avert your eyes or not subscribe to what they're doing. But it's not for big tech to be weighing in on these elections and picking the candidates that have the right to speak and those that should be silenced. They're not.
So think about this. If you're running for statewide office and you get banned by Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, Twitter, guess what? $250,000 a day they can be fined by the state of Florida. $250,000 a day. Let's see, over 30 days you ban somebody for a month. How much is that? $7.5 million. How's that feel? Not very good to them, right? That is the way to do it. This guy DeSantis and his state representatives and state senators in Florida, they have got this figured out. They finally took it on. They have a bill. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer if it's going to hold up constitutionally, but it should be. But I tell you what, this is leadership. This is the kind of Republican, conservative, America First leadership in the country that we need. Not these weasel rhinos like Liz Cheney that go around saying that Trump should be impeached. It's leaders like Ron DeSantis that are going to bring us to the promised land. That's why nobody will cover it. Now, here's DeSantis taking on one of the fake news set, Ron DeSantis v. Fake Newser, at his press conference. This is a classic.
Governor, hi. I want to ask you about the bill that you're signing here today. You're a loyal supporter of former President Donald Trump. Of course, Donald Trump is now a resident in Florida, and he was deplatformed. Is this bill for him?
The bill is for everyday Floridians. This is what we said, and it will allow any Floridian to be able to provide what they're doing. So, but I do think that's another issue that has been brought to bear. When you deplatform the President of the United States, but you let Ayatollah Khomeini talk about killing Jews, that is wrong.
He gets a standing ovation for taking on one of the fake news reporters there, asking him an asinine, ridiculous question about, did you do this bill for Donald Trump because he's a Florida resident? See, that's the kind of imbecilic, nitwit questions you get from the fake news narrative bunch that is trying to embarrass you or trap you or do whatever they do. Or they ask the imbecile questions to Jen Psaki, who says, I'll circle back, or I can't confirm or deny that. This is why DeSantis is a leader. And if you look at this press conference, which none of the other fake news media will bother to cover because they hate the guy, the reason he is getting such traction is because of the results he's getting in Florida. It's because of leadership. This is the example of the Republicans that we want in office. This is what we're fighting for. This is why we're taking over the Georgia Republican Party and other parties. This is why you're going to these stupid precinct meetings and driving yourself bananas. It's for people like Ron DeSantis that you can get in office who can lead.